Well, howdy, y'all. Rüdrani Devi, the happiness lady. That's right. Wrote a book about it. An uncommon way to find joy in your life. So, I'm going to share another tool with you from this little yellow book that is a access consciousness tool called No Form, No Structure, No Significance. Now, it's interesting because in this reality, we are taught that everything has to have form, structure, and significance. Well, we place a lot of significance on our interesting points of view, do we not? I am guilty of that as well. Yeah. And I'm working on changing that. I mean, what if your ask didn't have to show up the way you thought it should? What do you mean by that, Rüdrani? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you about it. Um, let's say, you're wanting to live a better life. You want a job that's going to, make you lots of money, all the things, or maybe you want a partner that does that for you, right? And you'll support them and they'll go out and make all the money. So let's go with the second example because I know a lot of Latinas, and this is not to dish you ladies, a lot of Italians be this way too, that they're taught, as little girls that they should marry a wealthy guy that's going to take care of her and all the things. And of course, he's got to be like Prince Charming, handsome and give her all the things that she wants. And so she's already decided, he has to be this and that and the other thing. And for my mother personally, she always told me growing up, I don't care who you marry. No, that's not really true, but she did use those words, as long as they have a college education. That was very important to her. And it was a status thing, And so I grew up believing, okay, I've got to marry a guy that is definitely educated, And so I remember that I did date a guy in college. We were engaged for a very short period of time. And it was funny because he wasn't interested in graduating. In fact, he ended up dropping out and getting some other kind of thing and working for the state. And actually, he's dead now. He died of a heart attack. Anyway, I digress. But here's the thing, I just assumed that every college guy was going to be the guy. I remember taking him home to meet my folks, and my mother was like, "You can do better than that." And I said, "Well, you told me, that I had to marry a college boy." And so for me, here I was. I had this idea in mind to please my family that it had to show up a certain way. And it's very interesting, how many times have we done that? Uh, and I realize in a lot of ways, like, for example, I was a bodybuilder and a runner and all this, that I put a lot of clout into how to train, and I read all the books, and I noticed that a lot of that stuff actually didn't work for me. So when I learned how to do kinesiology, which is a form of muscle testing to see what works or is in congruency with your body, I discovered that I actually did better before a run if I had very little carbohydrates and a lot more protein. And the proteins have sugars in them too. And I don't want to get into all the mechanics of it. But I wasn't willing to even look at anything else then, because now I decided that I had found my way, right? Well, okay. And what else is possible? Because you can actually trap yourself in your own form and structure as well. Well, the world says this, but that doesn't work for me, and I'm going to do this. And what if we've already done this tool? What if we could be in every 10 seconds about, hey, is this working for me today? Will it work for me tomorrow? Like even in relationships or friendships, they maybe work for a season and then they stop working. Or, nothing wrong or right about it. You guys have different points of views now. And so you journey on. And there's no hard feelings. I mean, it's like, well, maybe in this reality, it's hard to know. But for me personally, I can't imagine being in some of the relationships that I was in when I was doing the relationship journey years ago. I have a very different point of view now, and that could change also, right? So no form, no significance, and no structure. I just took them a little bit out of order. I'm going to go to this little yellow book and read a little bit of this for Jens. Have you noticed how much significance we place on making something historical? Pretty hysterical if you think about it. Then we are never allowed on some level to change it. It's kind of like it was always done this way. Our family does it this way. So I must do it this way. And you don't break out of that, I don't know, knee-jerk reaction, basically. Then we are never allowed on some level to change it. It's like making a mission statement. Our family has always done it this way. We've always been Catholic. You can't change that. That's just, you won't go to heaven. Lots of points of view. This is our company's mission statement that we live by, and therefore everything we do supports that. It cannot and will not be changed. Now, y'all remember Kodak? There's these little cameras, and then, you had to buy the film, and then you put the film in the camera, and then, and there's still a lot of beauty in doing that, and there's still a lot of photographers that still do that. In fact, I know some that they have black and white cameras, and they come up with some beautiful art. But now, all you need is one of these. And you've got all these different apps and whatnot to make it even prettier, and I am guilty of that. I mean, if a picture's too dark, I will lighten it up, right? And now you can take people out of it. It's so strange. Now AI could actually do it for you. That's interesting, isn't it? And for those of you that don't know, that's artificial intelligence. So can you perceive just how heavy all of that is? It's like living in a no choice universe. Easy for me to say. It's always been done this way, so I can't change it. My family will disown me if I don't do it. This person wants this from me, so I must do it because, that's expected of me, or whatever it is. And what if you could just ask, hey, does this work for me or not? So, okay, getting back to the little girl, she's been implanted to think that she has to have a certain kind of guy in her world. And what does that do? Because there's a form, a structure, and a significance, she won't recognize if there's actually someone that would work for her. And access, I'm going to jump into another little piece of access that you normally wouldn't get until you took foundation, and you actually have to have a bars class before even that. But we have this thing called winners, losers, and no counts. I'm digressing a little, but feel me here. So winner is someone that will sleep with you, but will not take you around to meet their friends or their family because they're too pretty and too good for you, right? That's the winners. And then you got the losers. And the losers are the people that they agree with everything you say. They'll cut off their arms and legs. They'll do anything for you at the expense of themselves. And an angel got its wings. There it is. It's kind of like, do you really want somebody that agrees with every single thing that you say? And, is basically kind of doesn't have any chutzpah or any wherewithal for themselves. And then you got your no counts. And these are the people that you won't sleep with, that are probably the type of person that would be the most kind to you, the most honoring of you, that wouldn't take advantage of you, wouldn't try to gaslight you. And they are not going to give up who they are. So if you try to get them to change, they're not going to do it. But they would be that person that would be honoring of you regardless. Isn't that kind of cool? So if you have this tunnel vision of this person must look like this, sound like this, be like this, have, letters in front or behind their name, had to be athletic or all the stuff. I mean, you can have preferences, don't get me wrong. But what if that person that was there for you was just, didn't have what this reality calls the best shape or the nicest teeth? I mean, I have points of view about teeth. Gosh, you guys, I could go on for days about that. I have done so much work on my teeth. Anyway, and I don't even have a cavity. It's just braces 4 times, all right? Fill in the blanks. No form, structure, or significance there, But that could be a preference also. But what if the guy, the Prince Charming, or whatever we want to call it, the insignificant other that comes along actually has really bad teeth? And they're super kind to me and caring and honoring and wouldn't gaslight me and all the stuff, but they also aren't going to change who they be. I would never be able to recognize that person if I lived by form, structure, and significance. And really and truly, what is significance anyway? I mean, it's basically something we decide must be based on what? Does this apply to me? It's like if it looks like this, then it's going to be the right thing. Well, what if it doesn't look like this and it's the right thing for you? So, yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? So, I'm gonna give you a little assignment. Should you care to take it? I mean, with every decision in your life, what if before you actually choose something, you ask, you know, does this require form to receive? Um, does this require a structure to create? Is this going to be significant in 5 years? If you go to 5 years, you go to a space that you can't even possibly comprehend. I mean, I wasn't at all who I was 5 years ago, 5 days ago, dare I say 5 minutes ago. Ah, every 10 seconds, right? Um, I mean, think of something that you really desire to create in your world. And I mean, for you, something that's fun for you, not something that this reality tells you you should do. So, what could be fun for you to create? It's like for me, I love creating classes. I love facilitating classes so much. I love writing books. I'm working on my fourth one now. I love taking classes. I love learning. I'm very curious. Oh, goodness gracious. Nothing like performing on stage, y'all, especially when people are singing the words back to you. That's so much fun. That's fun for me. Now, there's a lot of people that would be like, oh my goddess, I could never get on a stage and do that stuff. That would be terrifying for me. And then I would beg the question, is it terrifying or are you just terrified? Because sometimes when you're super excited, it can seem like you're scared or terrified. And it's actually just you being so excited, like, the tail wagging the dog. They see their master and they're, oh my God, there it is. Oh, the little happy tinkles and all the stuff. And I'm going in all sorts of directions, but you feel me, right? And because of your unwillingness to receive, even if it doesn't look like what you thought it should look like, you've basically limited your choices. You've basically limited this opportunity for something greater than even what you thought it was. True story. And you got to be willing to see, hey, is this impalement of this reality? And it could be from people that truly love you and care about you. You got to say, hey, just because it's my parents or, my girlfriends or boyfriends, people that, whatever, people that have really great intentions for you, it doesn't mean that that's right for you. Now, if you're a people pleaser, whatever, I get it. I used to do that too, but I've finally gotten to this point in my life where I ask, is this going to actually create for me? What does it have to look like? Well, the universe knows. Trust me when I say this, the universe has got your back. It knows what will work for you. So if you're just in the space of ask, and you know what your ask is, you shall receive. Oh yeah, ask and you shall receive. Hidden so far in the Bible that nobody ever knows about it. And it does work. It's how I live my life. If I want to create something, I ask, what else is possible here? I don't care how it shows up. I don't care about the form, the structure, and I'm not going to place significance on it if it doesn't show up. Maybe I have created for the future. Maybe I'm a futurist. Ask and let it go, and then see what follows. So that's your home play. Make your ask and ask, is there any form, structure, or significance to this ask? And what could be fun for me? And that's what I've got for you today. Well, alrighty, y'all. I'll have the links below. Find this here book and for my website so you can see what classes and calls I've got coming up next. And I really do appreciate y'all showing up. I mean, now we're in the future. Because I know you could spend your time doing whatever. So thank you so much for taking a little time with me. And if you know anyone in your life that maybe has some interesting points of view about this topic and you sense it could help them out, why don't you share it with them, my friend? And if you really liked it, hit the subscribe button underneath so that you'll always know when I'm going live. Yeah. And until next time, y'all, the Happiness Lady is signing off. Ciao, ciao for now.